Welcome to BCUC Minis. Here we spend some time together and we have a lovely story today, and my name's Chris. I've got a book of stories Jesus told, but do you know every story in this book came from that book, the Bible, because the Bible is filled with stories. It's really like a library. But we're going to read one that was written by a man called Luke. Luke heard this story and he thought it was such a good story, he wrote it down, and it's the story of the rich farmer. You can see that this rich farmer grew. Can you see what he grew? I reckon you'll know which is the sweet corn, which is the carrots, and which is the cabbage. And looks like he's a very good farmer. So we'll hear his story. The farmer, who is very rich, has beautiful soil on his land full of compost and worms, and he plants his sweet corn very carefully. See, he's a bit worried about those birds, and he plants it not all at once so it doesn't get ripe all at once. And his corn grows higher than anyone's, and I think the birds know that, don't you, because they're there waiting to eat some more corn. So he's very happy. And this year he has so much corn in his old barn it can't hold it all. It's bursting at the seams. Can you see? It's sticking out, and he had to put a lock on the door at the bottom and a lock on the door at the top to keep it in, and there's still some on the ground. You would have thought perhaps he could have shared some with someone else, but no, he put it all in his barn. No problem, says the farmer. I will pull it down and build a bigger one. Then next year I will be rich enough to take life easy. So he built another barn. But when the harvest comes around again, the new barn is not big enough. And the greedy farmer has planted more corn than ever before, and carrots, and now the carrots won't fit in. Did he think to share them with anybody? We'll see. No problem, says the farmer. I will build an even bigger barn and better. Next year I will be richer still, and then I can enjoy myself. So he builds a bigger and better barn. It obviously took him a lot of work. See, there he's carrying the timber. Needed to make it bigger. But at harvest time, even the bigger, better barn is not big enough. And you can see now he's got cabbages over as well as carrots. Again, the farmer has planted too much corn, too many carrots, and a few cabbages as well. I wonder if he thinks now it's a good time to share. No, this time the farmer says to himself, I will build the biggest, grandest barn in the world has ever seen, and then I shall be so rich I need never work again. And here's the barn. He built that barn and it reached to the sky, and when it is finished the farmer sighs a big sigh. Tomorrow I will gather in the harvest, and then at last I shall begin to enjoy myself. I know, I'll have a party. Taking him a long time to decide. But then that very night he dies in his sleep. Just like that. The birds eat his corn, the rabbits dig up his carrots, and the cabbages go to seed. The big barn stands empty, and the rich farmer never does get to enjoy his money. And he never got to share it with anyone. So he was a very poor man. Jesus says, how silly is this for a man to spend his whole life storing up riches for himself? To God, he is really a poor man. And I think that reminds us that Jesus has so much love for us. We are so rich in God's love. But you know, it's not for us to keep the love. There's a little song that's been written a long time ago that love isn't love till you give it away. A smile isn't a smile till you wrinkle your head, and a bell isn't a bell until it's rung. God has given us his love through Jesus, abundantly, and doesn't matter how much of his love we give away, he's got still more for us. And I wonder, how do we give love away? Well, by listening to God's voice, by being helpful, by giving someone a smile, by asking someone to play. You have a talk with your mum and dad, I'm sure, and brothers and sisters. There's lots of ways that you can share God's love every day, and God will fill you up with more love to share again. We'll have a little prayer, and then I'll show you the craft that you might like to do. So let's close our eyes and say, thank you, God, that you are so rich in love, that you fill us up and make us rich with love. Help us share your love with other people by helping, by being kind, and just appreciating how much you love us. Amen. Now the craft is on the website, and there are a couple of pages, and the instructions are at the very bottom of the second page. So you might end up with something that looks like this. And you'll need help, the minis will need help to do it, and the older children can make it. You can decorate the house in any way you like, really, but it's just got some little sayings in it. So the one about love, love isn't love till you give it away. And then down here you can put your name. God's love is so rich towards, and you put your name in there, that there is plenty of love to share with others. So you're making your own storage barn, but you've got open doors so that you can share. Lovely. Have a lovely weekend, and we look forward to seeing you sometime. I wonder if I'll recognise some of you, because you may have grown so tall I won't. Love for now, Chris.